with respect to the physics, the God of the Bible is immanent and transcendent, which means he fills the entirety of his creation. He's responsible for everything in his creation, but he is no way constrained by his creation. He also transcends. So like the God of Islam is a transcendent God, but not an immanent God. The God of Hinduism and Buddhism is immanent, but not transcendent. The God of the Bible is both.
Quick question. Do all three of you believe that killing babies is morally wrong?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes, on its face, of course.
Thank you. You said killing babies is wrong. Remember I asked you guys that? All of you agreed killing babies is wrong.
Period.
Your God of the Bible ordered the murder, the killing of babies. You just admitted that was wrong. So your God did something that was wrong. He can't be the God of the attributes because that God is perfect. Your God has a few rough edges. A theologian in the same magazine sees that there's a problem with the Bible God ordering genocide. Or as he calls it, divine genocide.
It's capital punishment, not genocide.
Maybe we could back
benevolence, creating hell. People in hell, they're not getting anything good out of it.
Who says? We would argue, in fact, we've written about this, how hell is actually the most loving thing God could do to the people who choose to live outside the authority.
So an eternity of fiery torture and burning, the likes of which we cannot even begin to fathom, and far worse, is in fact the most loving, kind thing God can do to a person.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
You're there being tortured forever and ever. How is that a good thing? Because I missed that.
Okay, how it's a good thing is that the inhabitants of hell are reprobate by nature. It's the only way you get to go there, which means after 1 trillion years of residing there, if you're given the opportunity to submit to the authority of God in heaven, you would turn it down. The inhabitant of hell looks at living under God's authority as a worse torment than the torment of hell, so they prefer to stay in hell for all of eternity.
How is cooking people alive, torturing them for all eternity, good for them?
Now, let me try to answer that.
Would you do that to any of your children?
Okay. Something would be worse if God did not impose torment. If there was no torment in hell, the people in hell would wreak far more harm upon one another. The torment is actually a restraint.
When we talk about God being omnibenevolent, that's always, always, always in relationship to the fact that he's also just, that he's also righteous, and that he's loving.
So he's all benevolent, except for when he's not, is what you're saying.
No, it doesn't. You know, you can be more than one thing at the same time and still be both.
You can't be all benevolent and evil at the same time.
It's those little omnis in front of the words that changes things.
It doesn't.
I can be both benevolent and just at the same time because I'm not all benevolent and all just.
We're actually claiming that God is omnibenevolent to the inhabitants of hell. The fact that he imposes torment there is a gift for them. What if the torment wasn't there? Conditions would be far worse.
Well, I mean, I got to say, as a prospective attendee of hell, theoretically, if the Christian perspective were to be right, I honestly have to say, I don't, I've lived my own life without God not tormenting my fellows. I've lived my own life. I don't see why I would suddenly change after I die. Why do I need to be infinitely burning to prevent me from tormenting people that I wouldn't torment in this life anyways?
Well, keep in mind those are metaphors. Actually, hell is worse than that.
Oh, okay, yes. Hell is worse than that. So I would be worse than burning to prevent me from being, I guess, myself,
Let me give you an analogy.
Which is fairly kind.
You're in hell. There's a bunch of people there who mean to harm you. Wouldn't you prefer that they be tormented by being handcuffed so they couldn't wreak more harm upon you?
How can you be harmed any more than you already are? You're being burned alive forever.
It'd be far worse.
Mark, can I ask a question? Dr. Ross has kind of piqued my curiosity.
Sure.
And I'm trying to think of an omnibenevolent, all-loving God. I understand your point about separation. God has to keep me and Mark and Alex away from good people like you guys.
And from one another, too.
And I understand that. But I'm thinking God could create an area like kind of a second-rate slum hotel where we could go, but not get burnt or tortured for eternity. So couldn't he kind of hold us up in this hotel, not a hotel, but a whole other planet somewhere? We couldn't harm you nice guys, but do we really need to be tortured? Okay, Dr. Ross,
yes.
We only have 6 minutes to debate this, and I have a lot of questions I wanted to ask you because I'm confused. First of all, I understand from reading your books that you believe there is only one type of advanced or intelligent form of life in the entire universe, not in this galaxy, but in any galaxy, and that's us, humans. But you just said God might have other purposes for designing this universe.
Right.
Other creatures, perhaps, other intelligent creatures that aren't physical,
Yes.
like
Angels.
angels. Thank you. Demons?
Right. Yes.
Demons. Thank
Yes.
you. Okay, so angels, demons, anything else out there?
Well, God himself.
God, angels, demons.
There might be some others. God hasn't told us everything. So by granting a God that transcends space and time, that creates the universe for humanity's benefit, that is the God of the Bible.
But how do you get from a basic deistic conception of God, which is just, again, the general creator deity, to a dude dying up on a cross? There seems to be this big logical disconnect between someone who's creating and fine-tuning individual points of the universe. Why does this person care about me? Where is the proof that this person cares about me? Where is, in fact, the existence of a soul? Why do we need a soul if there are explanations for why life exists without this? Why wouldn't this deity just, hey, create the universe, there you go? I mean, because again, as Mark said at the beginning, with a perfect deity, why would anything need to be created in the first place? Although I think that's one of our questions later. Over and over again, the idea of the God of the Bible there seems to be this jump between, oh, hey, there's this creator God, therefore you must assume all this other stuff. There's no evidence for this assumption.
You can be completely benevolent, and you can be just, and you can inflict pain, and still be completely benevolent. That is not true.
But your analogy to a spanking is wrong, because a spanking ends. Hell does not. Is that, yes, you can inflict pain as part of learning, but the idea is that you have to have an opportunity to learn after the infliction of this pain, after the infliction of this learning tool. You don't get that with hell. Hell is just eternal. You're sent there. Now, I guess, as Dr. Ross is saying, it's worse than being burned alive for all eternity. Where is the learning opportunity in this?
Alex,
Is that when given the opportunity to, and when they probably won't be caught, people do not do things that are morally wrong, even if they think it would immediately benefit them.
And what the Bible is saying is, and this is where part of where I'm going with this, is humankind is desperately wicked. All of them. Humankind is desperately wicked because...
I don't think the people out in the audience are wicked, by and large.
They're all,
but,
I guarantee...
Let's see it. Who's not evil? Well, it's about 50-50.
Let's step out in the parking lot and see who wins. I'm sorry, I'm taking
But anyway, back to, if you hate, you're a murderer. If you lust, you're an adulterer. And I'm afraid that most of you didn't make it out of junior high without being adulterous murderers, because that's the state of humankind. And this relates to the problem of evil. Because, see, the point of the matter is, God isn't sending good people to hell. I assure you today, there won't be one good person in hell, and on top of that, and then none of them will be repentant.
So what you're saying is that everyone in the world who is a non-Christian is, by definition, an evil person. Because all of these people will be going to hell if the God of the Bible exists.
Correct.
Thank you.
And let me
every person, what we have here is every person who is not a Christian, every Muslim, every Buddhist, every Hindu, is an evil person, not as even just non-Christian. These people are evil, according to...
I didn't say, however,
Jones.
I was born, all the Christians were born into the same evil, and I'm not saying that Christians don't sin. That's not the point. I certainly sin, and I'm not saying that Christians don't do evil. They do. That's not the point. The point is, though, there's a sentence on humankind, and the sentence is, they are evil, all of them. I was born evil. Everyone was born evil.
But to accept that, we have to accept that the Bible is true first.
I think the denigrating of human accomplishment and nobility is itself evil. We are not evil people. We are a mixture. We are a grab bag. We are some good, some bad, whatever. The best Christian on this planet and the best atheist on this planet probably have a lot in common. I think it is an attack on the self-esteem of people for religions to constantly tell them you're nothing but a filthy rag. The best you can accomplish is dirt in God's eyes. There are religions out there that don't criticize and tear down the good things that men have done. We're not the scumbags that the God of the Bible makes us out to be.